Hello everyone, Pallytime here with TGN.TV. This is a continuation of my Nightmare difficulty guides for Orcs Must Die 2. We are on the passages today, and I've been struggling with this level a lot. I'm just going to tell you my items, and then I'm going to tell you my mentality for approaching this level as we're starting. So my items, the blunderbuss, upgrades really don't matter. I do have the bleed effect on it just for the sake of having the bleed effect. The Dwarven Hammer with the whirlwind damage increase as well as the damage reduction that you take while whirlwinding. The Ice Amulet with both the spread upgrades, the left click upgrade, and the ability to deal increased damage to targets you freeze with the right click. The Tar Traps with the improved slow as well as the cost reduction. The Barricades with the cost reduction and the heal over time, the Haymakers with increased damage and the ability to stun heavy targets, the Floor Scorcher with, I believe, is increased damage, maybe it's cost reduction, it's a top upgrade regardless, increased damage, increased arc, as well as the ability to place on walls. I have the Paladin Guardians, which I think I'm going to use. Them, but they have the health increase as well as the heal over time, and then we have the Mana Rage and the Healing Trinket both upgraded accordingly. So my issue with this level was I beat it several times. I beat it a few times, and I honestly felt like I was lucky each time I beat it. When I make these videos, I try to do it in the best way possible so that anyone of any skill level can repeat the results. I play this game a lot. I'm really good at this game. I think that shows. But that shouldn't mean that everyone has to be as good as me when they're trying to follow the results. Does that make sense? So my new mentality was to cut off two paths that the orcs can go through. By putting these four barricades up here, that's going to force all of the ground targets to come in through this main opening, and we can make a death hallway right here, just a total death trap eventually that will take care of everything. But the issue is there are lots of sappers, so we put these 5 tar traps in front of these barricades, and that's going to allow us to put haymakers along this path to hopefully prevent the sappers from being an issue. So I'm going to go ahead and start the game. So then the other issue I had was when I was trying to use archers was the massive amount of gnolls that come out on some of these rounds. And because you would spread your archers out to protect the barricades, or at least that was my old strategy, that made it incredibly hard to protect all of your archers because you had to be in 4 or 5 different places at once. And just really not a good strategy. And like I said, I was beating the levels that way. It just didn't feel like a good way to beat the level. It didn't feel like a good win. You never knew if you were going to win until the round was basically over, until the game was finished. And that does not make for a good guide video. So I've been working on this for about 2 hours. This is the first time I'm going to try the Paladins, but I think this is going to be a really reliable way to complete this level. I'm just going to let him sit there for a minute. Go ahead and run back, and he's the last orc, so I'm going to run back and install as many of these haymakers as I can. I'm putting them right over the tar, just directly over the tar. And one more on this side. I have 4 up. That should be enough. And all of the enemies are going to come out in the ground on these first 2 waves. So this is probably going to be the hardest wave for you. That's definitely worth keeping in mind. If you can get past wave 2, that's going to be the easiest, or that's going to be the hardest part. Because from this point on, we're just going to have so many defenses that these orcs aren't going to be able to do anything. And of course, good tips for every level is just to keep a hawk's eye on your mini-map. But essentially what we're doing is outsmarting the AI. That's what it comes down to. Because sappers are always going to focus those barricades. So that means they won't be chasing you. That means they won't be going after guardians. They're going to focus those barricades. And that gives you a lot of time to deal with other things, because you won't have to worry about the sappers. They're going to be taken care of by these tar traps, the barricades, and the haymakers. That just means you have to play very aggressive when dealing with the rest of this stuff. So again, I'm going to try to leave one up, start installing some of these haymakers.
It's like an old-time carnival ride of death.
Alright, here we go, going into the next round. Really important to get these haymakers up on the right side as fast as you can. Really, really, really important. Alright, and that should be able to take care of both sides. We should be fine. I mean, if you want to watch what happens, there's the sappers, here come the haymakers. Sappers gone. So then that just leaves you to worry about all of the orcs on the ground as well as the gnolls that are going to be charging you. And they'll hit the barricades, don't get me wrong, they will hit the barricades, but because we have that heal over time, it's not that big of a deal. Them damaging the barricades, not that big of a deal. I am going to go ahead and add in this tar. I was a little late on that. You want to be a little faster because you want to stop these cobalt runners because they will get by you in a heartbeat. But I think we're fine. We may have lost our barricades up top. I'm not quite sure. I can't really tell. If we did, we can replace them. And you can see these the round 2 and round 3 definitely going to be the hardest things you encounter. Alright. Go check our barricades. We did lose them. Just going to replace them. Going to replace them and add in more haymakers. And now this side should be totally protected from now on. And I'm going to add in a haymaker on this side. And then I'm just going to add in more tar down here. And honestly, I think we're good. I think we're in a really, really good position to beat the level. Those sappers shouldn't matter. They're going to be taken care of. All I have to worry about is these orcs on the ground. See these elementals up top? Once they realize that, oh, there's barracks there, or barricades. I'm going to call them barracks a lot, and I did that even back in the day, too. Once they realize that stuff is there, they're going to pull back, and it's going to be fine. It's going to help out with those sappers a little bit. A little too many of them were getting by. I think to improve my chances with that, I could have dropped the... Oh, where are you going? Where are you going, big guy? You could probably drop the paladins and pick up that trinket that makes your traps reset faster. That would definitely help out a lot, I think. Because I don't really know if the guardians are totally necessary. I'm just kind of using them as an experiment to see if I can control the gnolls with them. But I'm going to take... I have a second. Since the left side keeps getting pushed up a lot, I'm going to take a second now to add down another tar trap up here, as well as another haymaker. Alright, finish these guys off real fast. I do still have to worry about part-time, so I'm really wasting a lot of time here that I shouldn't be. But I think each side's good right now, so I'm going to start adding in haymakers in the middle here. This is going to be our test. It's going to be the test for the barricades. Perhaps it would be a good idea to put one more thing of tar. That way they kind of group up on the tar up top. And then they're going to be clumped up a little bit more for that first haymaker. Just get a little bit more AoE damage out of it, if that makes sense. But you can see I'm having to deal with most of the stuff on the ground. That's why the Mana Rage Trinket is going to be so important. Very, very, very important. Because you have to keep your mana up to keep these whirlwinds up. Otherwise, stuff's going to sneak right by you. There's not going to be a damn thing you can do about it. So I'm going to go ahead, pop my Mana Rage cooldown. Once I get a little break here, I'm going to try to spend a little bit more of my money. So I laid down 3 rows of tar. Right behind this tar, I'm going to add in 3 rows of these floor scorchers. That way, anything that steps on the tar, instantly going to get burned. You can see, got through round 5 just fine. I really do think this is the easiest way to do this. I genuinely do. We have more sappers coming in, should not be a problem. Might be a good idea as well to sell this last tar and put in a floor scorcher if I have the presence of mind in between one of these rounds. With the remainder of my money, just going to add in more and more and more haymakers in the middle, make it even easier for us. And I honestly think, I truly think, this is one of my most genius plans on any of these levels. We're just manipulating the AI to do exactly what we want them to do. It's actually pretty rewarding. It feels pretty good. I am the master of the orc mind. But the Scorchers are always going to be directed directly into those barricades. So the Haymakers are going to, or not the Scorchers, the Sappers, are going to be directed right into these barricades. I'm just going to help out the Haymakers here because these trolls are going to walk back and forth for a little while. Problem solved, and we got one more to go. I'll just freeze them and kind of hope for the best right now. Alright, that should do it. Okay, I'm going to sell this last Tar Trap and add in a Floor Scorcher. And eventually I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm also going to add a Floor Scorcher in right there on the wall, and right there on the wall. Sounds like a plan. I like that. I like that. Just makes it a little bit more secure, so we don't have to deal with it. And now we have this room fully haymakered, so the only thing left to do is add in more Scorchers.
1, 2,
We have a very large wave of sappers coming in. You can see it taken care of just fine. Really brilliant idea. Really good idea. I know I'm like making myself out to be some genius right now. I'm just really proud of myself. I spent like 2.5 hours on this level trying to come up with a really easy strategy that didn't feel bad. And I'm really happy with this. I'm really happy with this. Oh, I hit that barrel thing on accident, that long thing. It's back there just in case you need it for emergencies. You should never really need it.
Keep those loggies rolling.
I almost always shoot it on accident, so. So now we can start start concerning ourselves with increasing our kill time, or reducing our kill time, or whichever the proper terminology would actually be there. We need to kill orcs faster, so I'm going to start working on doing that. And I'm going to do that in a few ways. Our kill trap over there, our kill box, pretty sound, pretty solid. I don't think we need to make too many changes, so I'm just going to start adding these Scorcher traps everywhere I feel like adding them. There's no science here. There's no testing done behind this. I'm just kind of putting stuff wherever I feel like things are going to walk on it. I really should sell that last tar thing there. And I believe I put that the wrong way. I can't tell. Oh, almost died. Oh! Oh, pay attention. Almost died. Okay. Gonna go ahead and freeze these guys. Just to get retarded amounts of combos. That's amusing. Looks like this wave's pretty much only orcs. Whoa. Okay, I'm not going in there anymore. I'm just gonna freeze them. Get my combos. Par is a legitimate concern on my mind right now. I am a little afraid of that. Simply because I don't know what part-time is. And we are doing a lot of basically telling these guys where to go. We're doing a lot of maze barricades. So, how'd you get through that? So I'm going to add in more of these Scorcher traps everywhere I can. Try to improve our likelihood of making par. We have 9 out of 12. This isn't a long level in general, but we can make it go a little faster. Yeah, I think I would personally rather go with the arrow walls instead of these paladins. I think that was a mistake on my part. Like I said, it's the first time really trying this strategy out to its full effectiveness. Because the Gnoll Hunters, the whole idea I had with the paladins was to help control the Gnoll Hunters. But as long as you stay out of this death trap, it doesn't really matter where the Gnoll Hunters come from, because they're going to walk into the death trap and they're going to die. You see what I mean? Like, I was going to use the paladins to outsmart the Gnoll AI and have them focus the Gnolls first. But it just doesn't seem necessary, honestly, at this point. Grab one of these mana potions. Yeah, it's totally fucking stress-free way of doing this level. Really good. I really am proud of this strategy. Assuming it makes par. That's a big assuming right now.
Traps are just so cool. They're trying to flank us.
These orcs aren't even getting very far at this point. Wow, look at that. Look at that. I hate that. Worst bug ever in these games. Is even in the first game. Your ranged attacks, including your ice amulet now, just kind of shoot either way farther down than you were expecting them to, or way higher than you were expecting them to. And, you know, you have a clear crosshair, you have a clear indicator of where you're trying to aim. It just doesn't seem to play along all the time.
I like a nice medium rare. Warm pink center.
Yeah, I'm feeling really good about this strategy. I'm glad I worked on this level a lot longer. I really don't want to put out a guide for a level that just doesn't seem doable to the normal person. And this is very doable. I mean, there's no stress here at all. Other than I might die to this ogre because I walked in his way. But when the ogres come into your trap, gauntlets just freeze them. Freeze them, they'll take additional damage and they'll die. Not a problem. These sappers, totally under control. Everything really is totally under control. It's feeling pretty good. Like I said, I'm just a little worried about par because this does seem to be taking a little while. Oh, I missed one? What the fuck? Where is he? Alright, around 11 out of 12.
Killing season.
And again, no real science as to where I'm putting those scorcher traps down. I'm just kind of laying them wherever looks like someone might step on it. They do a pretty decent amount of damage. They're definitely not a pushover.
Now how many was that? Nah, who cares?
I'm pretty confident in the death ball, our death room, our death box, whatever you want to call them. I've heard it called many different things. I'm pretty confident in that, so it doesn't hurt to come out here and try to improve my clear time with a little bit of whirlwinding. Yeah, I definitely think I should have gone with the wall arrows instead of these paladins. I really do. That's my one regret. If I'm going to have to redo this level, it's going to be for that reason. Because the paladins just aren't needed. You don't really need them to hold the death trap. Everything dies in the death trap. You don't need paladins to hold the line. You don't need them to outsmart the gnolls. You just don't need them. It was a wasted item on my part. I would have been better off with like a scavenger trinket or something. Get a little bit more gold in here. So the reason they aggroed me right there is simply because I presented myself as bait. The sappers are way more interested in actually killing your structures than killing you the majority of the time. Yeah, this absolutely accomplished everything I wanted it to. Because my stress level right now is like 0. I'm just kind of waiting for the rounds to end, which again might be a bad thing because of par. But as far as execution, other than my mistake of picking the Guardians, I feel like this is totally good. Totally good.
Kill streak.
I am stunned. That's not good. Nothing I can't deal with, though. I think I was stunned on top of a health potion. It's probably the best place ever to be stunned. And he's doing his happy dance, so that means I beat par. What was par? Because that felt like it took like a really long time. This was a long video. Wow, I still had another fucking 5 minutes. Damn. Yeah, par non-existent. Non-existent, basically. That was the longest strategy I think I've ever implemented on one of these levels, and I was so far ahead of par. That is crazy. Alright guys, well I hope you found this video helpful. Again, I would recommend replacing those paladins with probably wall arrows or just an offensive trap to speed up your clear. That's absolutely crazy how long par is on this level. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. I'll be back soon with more guides for the Nightmare difficulty of Orcs Must Die 2. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button below. Leave me a comment down below as well. And if you're new here, I encourage you to subscribe. I will be back soon. Okay, bye.